Student, we have completed chapter number 1, that is matter in our surrounding, and chapter number 2 is matter around us pure. These chapters belongs to chemistry section. Now we will do physics section, that is chapter number 8, motion. Let us start with introduction. If we look around us, we find that there are number of objects which are in motion. An object is said to be in motion if it changes its position with the passage of time. In other words, the movement of an object is known as the motion of the object. Now observe the following bodies or objects and you will be able to understand the meaning of the term motion. Cars, cycles, motorcycles, scooters, buses, rickshaws, trucks, etc. running on the road, birds flying in the sky, fish swimming in water, all these objects are in motion. Very small objects like atoms and molecules, that is building blocks of substances, and very large objects like planets, stars and galaxies are in motion. Thus all objects ranging from a smallest atom to the largest galaxy are in continuous motion. Now types of motion. First of all, linear motion. A body has motion if it moves in a straight line or path. Example of linear motion are motion of a moving car on a straight road. Second example, motion of a ball dropped from the roof of a building. Second types of motion, circular or rotational motion. A body has circular motion if it moves around a fixed point. A vertical line passing through the fixed point around which the body moves is known as axis of rotation. Examples of circular motion are motion of an electric fan, motion of merry-go-round, motion of a spinning top. Now the third types of motion is vibratory motion. A body has vibratory motion if it moves to and fro about a fixed point called mean position or equilibrium position. Examples of vibratory motions are motion of a pendulum, of a wall clock, motion of a child swinging in a swing, motion of a simple pendulum. Now moving on to describing motion. To describe the motion of an object, its position, velocity, etc. are measured. When we measure the position of an object, then it is measured from some fixed point known as reference point. For example, let us say that our school bus is 2 km away in the south direction from our home. It means we measure the position of our school in the south direction from our home. So in this case, our home is the reference point. Similarly, suppose a person says that a bus is moving, it means that the bus is changing its position with respect to the person. So in that case, the person is the reference point. Now what would be the definition of reference point? A fixed point or a fixed object with respect to which the given body changes its position is known as the reference point or origin. Now motion is a relative term. So as you can see in the picture, we say that a body or an object is in motion. That it is essential to see whether the body or object changes its position with respect to other objects or objects around it or with respect to any fixed point known as reference point. For example, let us take an example when a bus moves on a road. Then the bus as well as the passengers sitting in it change their positions with respect to a person standing on the roadside. So the bus and the passengers sitting in it are in motion with respect to the person standing on the roadside. However, the passengers sitting in the bus do not change their position with respect to each other. It means the passengers sitting in a moving bus are not in motion with respect to each other. So what would be the conclusion? We find that an object is in motion only if it changes its position with respect to a fixed point or a fixed body. Therefore, a body or an object is in motion with respect to one thing, but the same body or an object may not be in motion with respect to another thing. Thus, motion is a relative term. Now moving on to next topic, motion along a straight line. We shall discuss the motion of an object along a straight line. In this case, the starting point of the line is taken as the origin O or the reference point. The position of the moving object changes with time. The different position of the object measured to the right side from the reference point or origin are shown in the picture. Now, what is distance and displacement? Distance, the length of the actual path between the initial, that is starting or reference point, and the final position of a moving object in the given time interval is known as the distance traveled by the object. So now what would be the definition of displacement? The shortest distance between the initial position and the final position of a moving object in the given interval of time from initial to the final position of the object is known as the displacement of the object. Now, distance traveled has magnitude only, so distance is a scalar quantity, while displacement has magnitude as well as direction, so displacement is a vector quantity. Now, you are having some question in your mind that what is scalar quantity and what is vector quantity. Now let us discuss about these quantities. All measurable physical quantities can be classified in two broad categories, that is scalar quantity and vector quantity. First of all, scalar quantity. Some quantities can be completely described by a number, that is by their numerical values. For example, age, mass, temperature, etc. can be represented as 14 years, 12 kg, minus 2 degrees Celsius, respectively in the form of numerical value. This numerical value of a physical quantity is termed as its magnitude. These quantities are called scalar quantity. The definition of scalar quantity is scalar quantities are those quantities which require only magnitude to describe them completely. That is, only the numerical value is required. For example, mass, length, temperature, volume, speed, work, area, energy, power, pressure, etc. are scalar quantities. They can be added, subtracted, multiplied and divided according to the simple algebra. Now, vector quantity. Some physical quantities need both magnitude, numerical value and direction to describe them. So those physical quantities which require both magnitude as well as direction to describe them completely are called vector quantities. Examples are displacement, velocity, acceleration, force, weight, momentum, etc. Now moving on further, we have some difference between distance and displacement. So distance is the length of the path traveled by a body while moving from an initial position to a final position, while displacement is the shortest distance between the initial position and the final position of the body. Distance is a scalar quantity. We have learned about scalar quantity right now, and then displacement is a vector quantity. Distance measured is always positive, while displacement can be positive or negative. The total distance covered is equal to the algebraic sum of all the distances travelled in different directions. The net displacement is a vector sum of the individual displacements in different directions. There is always a distance covered when there is a motion. Displacement will be 0 if the body comes back to its initial position. So SI unit of distance and displacement is meter. Now moving forward about uniform and non-uniform motion. First of all, uniform motion. The motion of an object is uniform if it moves along a straight line and it covers equal distances in equal interval of time. So howsoever small these particle intervals may be. So if you plot a graph of uniform motion, it would be represented as shown in the picture. So suppose the distance covered by a ball along a straight line in the given interval of time is So if time is 1 second, so distance will be 10 meter, and if time is 2 second, the distance will be 20 meter, and if time is 3 second, the distance will be 30 meter, and so on. So thus we conclude that the bus or any vehicle covers 10 meter in each second along a straight line. So the motion of the bus is uniform motion. Now moving on to non-uniform motion. The motion of an object is said to be non-uniform if it covers unequal distances in equal interval of time. Howsoever small these intervals may be, examples of non-uniform motions are a bus moving on a crowded road, a bus approaching a bus stop or leaving the bus stop, a car moving on a hilly track, a person jogging on a road. So suppose the uniform motion can be illustrated with the help of the values of distance. If a ball covers 1 meter distance in 1 second, and then if it is covering 3 meter in 2 seconds, so the interval is very unusual. So in this case we will say this is non-uniform motion. So now moving on to next one, that is speed. So different objects travel different distances in different time intervals. The distances traveled by an object in unit time is expressed by a quantity known as speed. So speed of an object can be defined as the distance traveled by it per unit time. The expression for speed will be speed equals to distance upon time, or V equals to S upon T. So speed is also a scalar quantity because it is only magnitude and no direction, and its SI unit will be meter per second. So first of all, uniform speed or constant speed. If a moving body covers equal distances in equal interval of time, then the speed of the body is said to be in a uniform speed. So it may be noted that wireless or radio signal travels with constant speed in a medium. The speed of wireless signal in air is equal to the speed of light in air, that is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Now non-uniform or variable speed. If a moving body covers unequal distances in equal interval of time, then the speed of the body is said to be non-uniform or variable speed. Now moving on to average speed. Usually the buses, cars and trains etc. do not move with a uniform speed. They move with non-uniform speeds. For example, when a bus starts its journey from bus stand, it moves slowly and then its speed is increased. Now if it enters a crowded road, its speed decreases. After crossing the crowded road, its speed increases. After traveling few kilometers, suppose the bus has to be stopped, then its speed again decreases. Thus we see that the bus is not moving with the same speed during the whole journey. In such situation, we have to find the average speed of the bus. So the definition of average speed is, average speed of a moving body is defined as the ratio of the total distance traveled by it to the total time taken. So the formula will be average speed equals to total distance upon total time taken. So for example, let a bus travels 120 km in 5 hours between two stations, then the average of speed of the bus will be, so you will apply this formula, average speed equals to total distance upon total time taken. So here total distance is 120 km and total time is 5 hours. So the answer will be 24 km per hour. Now moving on to instantaneous speed. The speed of an object at any instant during its motion is called instantaneous speed. A meter fitted on the dashboard of a vehicle called speedometer indicates the instantaneous speed of the vehicle. Now the next topic is velocity or speed with direction. When the direction of motion of an object is also specified, then the term velocity of the body is defined instead of speed. For example, if a car is moving with a speed of 10 meter per second towards east, then we say that the velocity of the car is 10 meter per second due to east. Velocity of an object tells us how fast the object is moving and in which direction is moving. So the definition of velocity is, velocity of an object is defined as the displacement of the body per unit time. So the expression for velocity will be v equals to distance upon time, or v equals to s upon t, and the SI unit of velocity is meter per second. Now types of velocity. First of all, uniform velocity or constant velocity. Let a car moves over a horizontal straight road along the east direction. Let it covers 30 km in each hour. So this shows that the displacement of the car in each hour is equal. The velocity of this car is uniform velocity. Velocity of an object is said to be uniform velocity if it covers equal displacement, that is equal distances in a particular direction in equal intervals of time. Second one is non-uniform velocity or variable velocity. So let a car moves over a horizontal road along the east direction. Let it covers unequal distances in each hour. Suppose from 6 am to 7 am the car is traveling around 20 km, and from 7 am to 8 am it travels around 10 km, and again from 8 to 9 it covers 15 km, and from 9 am to 10 am it covers around 30 km. So the traveling system is non-uniform. So we will say that the velocity of an object is said to be non-uniform or variable velocity if it covers unequal displacement, that is unequal distances in a particular direction in equal intervals of time. Example of non-uniform or variable velocity is a bus moving towards north on a crowded road, a stone thrown vertically upward, a stone dropped from the top of a building, a body moving in a circular path. So what would be the motion in this? So non-uniform motion will apply in these examples. Now moving on to average velocity. Average velocity, when the speed of an object changes with time along a straight line, then the average velocity of the body is calculated as total displacement of the body upon total time taken. For example, the velocity of a ball dropped from the top of a building changes because its speed changes although its direction of motion is same. The velocity of a car moving with a constant speed in a circular path changes because its direction of motion changes. So here are some difference between speed and velocity. Speed is a scalar quantity, so it has only a magnitude, while velocity is a vector quantity, it has a magnitude and a direction as well. Speed equals to distance traveled upon time taken, while velocity equals to displacement upon time taken. Speed has positive values, while velocities has either positive or negative values. The numerical value of the area under the curve of a speed time graph is equal to the total distance traveled by the object. The numerical value of the area under the curve of a velocity time graph is equal to the displacement of the object. While here, the gradient of a distance time graph is equal to the speed of the object. While in velocity, the gradient of a displacement time graph is equal to the velocity of the object. Now, moving on to acceleration. If non-uniform motion, the velocity of a body changes with time. For example, when a train leaves the platform or approaches the platform, its velocity changes with time. The change in velocity of an object with time is expressed by a physical quantity known as acceleration. Acceleration tells by how much amount the velocity of a body changes in unit interval of time. In other words, the acceleration is a quantity which measures how quickly the velocity of a body or an object changes. The definition will be acceleration of a body or an object is defined as a change in velocity per unit time, or acceleration of an object may also be defined as the rate of the change of velocity of the object. Now the formula of acceleration will be change in velocity upon time taken. The change in velocity will be v minus u, where v is final velocity, u is initial velocity, and t is time taken, and a is acceleration. So it is denoted with a. While acceleration is a vector quantity, now positive acceleration. If the velocity of an object increases with time in the direction of the motion of the object, then the acceleration of the body is known as positive acceleration. In this case, the object picks up the speed in a particular direction. For example, if an object starts from rest and its velocity goes on increasing with time in the direction of its motion, then the object has positive acceleration. The direction of positive acceleration is the direction of motion of the object. Now, here initial velocity is greater than final velocity. Now, negative acceleration. If the velocity of an object increases with time, then the acceleration of the object is known as negative acceleration. For example, if an object moving with certain velocity is brought to rest, then the object is said to have negative acceleration. Now, under acceleration, there is uniform acceleration. If the velocity of an object changes by an equal amount in equal interval of time, then the acceleration of the object is known as uniform acceleration. The motion of an object having uniform acceleration is known as uniformly accelerated motion. Examples of uniformly accelerated motions are the motion of an object falling freely from the top of a building, the motion of a ball rolling down on smooth inclined plane. Now, next one is non-uniform acceleration. If the velocity of an object changes by an unequal amount in equal interval of time, then the acceleration of the object is known as non-uniform or variable acceleration. The motion of an object having variable acceleration is known as non-uniformly accelerated motion. Examples of non-uniformly accelerated motions are the motion of a bus leaving or entering the bus stop, the motion of a train leaving or entering the platform, the motion of a bus on a crowded road. Graphical representation of motion. Graphs are the best tools to represent the motion of a body or an object. In order to describe the motion of an object, we have to represent the distance or velocity of the object with the passage of time. The distance traveled by the object or the velocity of the object is different at different time. In other words, distance traveled by the object or the velocity of the object depends on the time. Therefore, distance traveled or the velocity of the object is a dependent quantity and the time is an independent quantity. The variation of the dependent quantity with an independent quantity is represented by a graph known as line graph. You must have seen a graph showing the runs scored per over by a cricket team on your television screen. So the vertical bars shows the runs scored by a team in different overs. This type of graph is known as bar graph. The shaded circles along x-axis shows the fall of a wicket in the given over. First of all, distance time graph. Distance time graph shows how the distance of a body from a fixed point changes with time. To draw distance time graph, distance traveled by the body is plotted along y-axis and the time taken by the body to travel this distance is plotted along x-axis. First of all, distance time graph for a stationary body. The distance of a stationary body from a fixed point does not change with the passage of time. It means if the distance of a stationary body from fixed point, say O, is 4 meter at time t equals to 0, then the distance of this body will remain 4 meter for all times. Distance time graph for a stationary body is shown in the figure 18. Now the conclusion of the graph is distance time graph for a stationary body is a straight line, that is AB, parallel to time axis. Now second one is distance time graph for uniform motion. If a body travels equal distances in equal interval of time, then the motion of the body is known as uniform motion. Distance time graph for such a uniform motion of the body is shown in picture. Conclusion of this distance time graph is the distance time graph for the uniform motion of a body is a straight line having a constant angle with the time axis or constant gradient or slope. Now third one, distance time graph for non-uniform motion. If a body travels unequal distances in equal intervals of time, then the motion of the body is known as non-uniform motion. Non-uniform motion of a body is of two types. First one, when the speed of the body increases with the passage of time. For example, when a train leaves the platform, its speed increases with the passage of time. That is, the train covers more and more distance in unit time. Distance time graph for such a non-uniform motion of the body is shown in the figure 20. Conclusion. Distance time graph for the non-uniform motion of a body is a curve having increasing slope or gradient. Number 2, when the speed of the body decreases with passage of time. For example, when a train approaches the platform, its speed decreases with the passage of time. That is, the train covers less and less distance in unit time. Conclusion. Distance time graph for the decreasing non-uniform motion of a body is a curve having decreasing slope. Here having decreasing slope. So conclusion is that is the speed of the body decreases with the passage of time. Now next one, velocity time graph. Velocity time graph shows how the velocity of a body changes with the passage of time. To draw velocity time graph, velocity of the body is plotted along y-axis and the time taken by the body is plotted along x-axis. First one, velocity time graph for a body moving with constant velocity. When a body moves with constant velocity, that is, its motion is uniform. Its velocity does not change with time. For example, if the velocity of the body at t equals to 0 is 5 meter per second, then the velocity of the body will remain 5 meter per second for all the times. Conclusion, velocity time graph of a body moving with constant velocity is a straight line parallel to time axis. Now next one, velocity time graph for uniform motion when initially the body is at rest. Let us suppose initially the body is at rest, then velocity of body at t equals to 0. After that, the velocity of the body increases at a constant rate. That is, in every unit interval of time, the velocity of the body increases by an equal amount. Conclusion, velocity time graph of a body having uniform motion initially at rest is a straight line passing through the origin and have a constant slope. Third one, velocity time graph for uniform motion when initially body is not at rest. Let us suppose initially, that is at t equals to 0, the velocity of a body is 2 meter per second. After that, the velocity of the body increases at a constant rate. That is, in every unit interval of time, the velocity of the body increases by an equal amount. Now, next one, velocity time graph when the velocity of the body decreases uniformly to 0. Let us suppose the body is moving with a certain velocity at t equals to 0. Let thereafter the velocity of the body decreases uniformly and ultimately becomes 0 after some time. For example, let the velocity of a train at t equals to 0 is 10 meter per second. The driver of the train applies brakes so that the velocity of the train decreases uniformly to 0. Now the last one is velocity time graph of non-uniform motion of an object. Velocity time graph for non-uniform motion shows that the velocity of the object is increasing at a constant rate up to 2 seconds. Then the velocity is decreasing at a constant rate up to 4 seconds. Again increasing up to 8 seconds and then decreasing up to 12 seconds.